Oh, hi! I'm so glad you picked up. How are you? How are the children? Yeah, whatever. Listen, you're not gonna believe this. I know gossiping is bad, but you know me. It's not like you can expect me not to tell if I find out something juicy. Remember Alan? Laura's daddy? Yeah, she goes to school with my Caitlin. What about him? Well, the other day I was going for a very nice walk and I saw him entering the food bank. Yeah, absolutely sure. So? Hold on a sec. What do you mean, so? This is huge! I cannot wait to tell the other moms. Why on earth would you do that? Because it's so embarrassing, like, oh my gosh. I would rather starve than steal from the government that way. Stealing from the government? Is that how you think that works? Welcome to Drama TM, a place where you'll find takes so hot you're gonna want to sleep with them. First of all, my hair, it's gone. Go speculate in the comments, why do you think that is? Funniest response gets a cookie. Today we're gonna be talking about poverty and how it's treated in society as something shameful. Let me begin by telling you a story. A very cute girl starts her life in a new school, but she's tragically poor. Her parents work real hard to make a living, but it's never enough. All the rich girls in her grade live in mansions. She just wants to fit in. So she pretends she lives in this huge house full of servants. No one will ever know her secret. Sound familiar? That's because it's the plot of 1,000 movies. But wait, let me tell you another story. There is a rich kid. They've had everything growing up. But suddenly, the catastrophe happens. Their family is broke. They had to fire the staff. How awful. No one will ever know their secret. And another 100 movies. But what do they have in common? Well, it's pretty obvious. They're both fakes. Deadbeat, good for nothing people will always try to copy the rich. How tragic. Have you ever stopped to think why that is? Why do people go to such extents to hide their financial situation? Could it be because of the shame? Shame is usually defined as a painful feeling of humiliation or distress caused by the consciousness of wrong or foolish behavior. We've been taught to see poverty as a character flaw. You're poor because you're not doing enough. You're poor because you chose a bad profession. You're poor because you want to. And this, my friends, is extremely harmful. Oh, so saying the truth is harmful now? This political correctness makes no sense. The problem is, it is not the truth. It's nothing but a discriminatory illusion born out of privilege to shame people into compliance. But I already have videos about that, so I'll leave the link at the end. That's not the only problem that comes from it though. That internalized classism, that shame, can make it a lot harder to ask for help, because doing so would take a blow at your dignity. Sometimes you want to keep up the facade that you don't need it. This can be terribly detrimental for people who could better their living conditions, but refuse to do so because they're afraid. Correct me if I'm wrong, but if they're not doing anything, even if they could, isn't that their fault? You are wrong, and I am going to correct you. Because even if shame can be a moral indicator of wrongdoing, lots of times it's just a product of being shamed. What were you saying before about that dad from your school? But I caught him going to the food bank. Yes, and? That's embarrassing. Exactly. You called a person trying to help their family embarrassing without even thinking about their context. That's the reason why a lot of food banks and soup kitchens only open during the night. Do you think he's a good dad? Well, obviously not. If he cannot provide for his child, he's failing at parenting. You wouldn't catch me or my husband in that situation. We care for our kids. You see? Shaming and more shaming. You're judging someone's ability as a parent because of a circumstance they happen to be in. And this is sadly common because the role you're playing interacts with that shame, especially if held by traditional standards. A father can be seen as failing in their role of breadwinner, a mother as failing to care for their children, and a young person who's moved out of the family home as failing to be independent. Shame, shame, shame. Well, if they're feeling that bad, why don't they change the situation instead of sucking the blood of the people who actually work? The thing is, asking for help, getting government aids, relying on your friends, etc., is working to change the situation. Besides, a lot of people in poverty situations do have a job. Hell, I have a job. More than one job, actually. And I'm still poor. We live in a system in which working is not at all a guarantee of affording life. Besides, that's not only incredibly classist, but ableist. Some people can't access high-paying jobs, and some people can't work at all. And that's not their fault. Well, you know what they say. If you cannot find a job, create one. No one's stopping you from enterprising. You know what they say, money calls money. It's incredibly difficult to start something from nothing. Whatever you want to do is gonna cost either money, time, or both. So no, not anyone can spare either to fund a company. And why don't they ask for a loan? If their idea is any good, they'll be able to repay it. Do you know what a credit score is? Most lenders won't lend their money if they're not sure they're gonna get it back. But if they do, and you don't have money to begin with, your interest rate is gonna be a lot higher. Besides, I don't like the world you're painting. Even if that person starts their own business, someone is going to have to do their current underpaid job. By shoving the rich fantasy into people's throats, you're saying make sure someone else gets exploited. You're not fixing the issue at all. Okay, so what? Eat or be eaten. Besides, everyone, except for me, I'm perfect, has their own shame. This is not I fell in front of my crush while walking down the stairs. This is a systemic issue that has deep effects on mental health. Shame can make you feel worthless, judged, disgusting. It attacks the very core of yourself. It can lead to harmful coping mechanisms like substance abuse or withdrawing from meaningful relationships. And all of that for something that isn't really your fault. In conclusion, let's all do our best to remember that poverty isn't a choice. And it most definitely does not affect your value as a human being. I hope you have enjoyed this video. If you did, please give it a big thumbs up and share it with someone you think might need to hear it. Subscribe to my channel for more awesome content and click the little bell icon if you want to get notified whenever I upload something new, which is probably gonna be next Friday. Love you all, bye!